everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is not the way we had chosen to meet for the board of directors for this year, but unfortunately, and fortunately, we have so much going on for annual that it just happened to be that we could not find another in-person meeting, but that's great because there are people that won't be able to join us for ALA annual. So it's good to be able to share space here virtually, right? So thank you so much. We have a lot to cover as there were some voting items and there are some updates, and there is a lot that we'd like to present to the board of directors before we share it with membership next week at our membership meeting next Monday. So we're gonna go ahead and you may or may not know all of us. I'm sure you've seen emails from all of us. We don't know all of you, even though we exchange a lot for the board of directors. So we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. In case you didn't know, my name is David Lopez. I am your president of Reforma for another week, maybe. And then I am here in Southern California. I'm not going to have a long drive to San Diego. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll pass it over to Alex Rivera.
Hola. Alex Rivera. I am Vice President, President-elect, and I will be stepping into this in just a little over a week, presidency role, and I can't wait to work with all of you. And I will be in San Diego as of Wednesday. So if anybody's there early and wants to hang out, let me know. Can't wait to see you all. And who's next? Denise?
Yeah, just popcorn someone from the EC. Yes. Denise.
Sorry, it took me that long to figure out how to unmute myself. I'm Denise Adkins. I'm your treasurer for 1 week, and then by your courteous vote, I will be your past treasurer for the next year. So I am excited about this. I'm excited about the treasurer's report, and I will hand it over to Adriana.
Gracias, Denise. Hi, everyone. Adriana Blancarte Hayward, and also for 1 more week, I'm your East Chapter rep. Excited to be here with you all and see many of you from the East here. Thank you for being here and sharing your updates soon. And I see Michelle, so I'll pass it over to Michelle.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can see me. Sorry, I'm having Wi-Fi issues at my house, but I'm your West Regional Rep, so that's the California chapters for I think 2 more years. I don't know, but forever. I'm happy to be here, and it's nice to see you all. And I'm in Los Angeles. And I will pass it to, I'm looking at the list to see from our board who else is here.
Romelia.
Romelia, scrolling down.
Hi everyone, I'm Romelia Salinas and I'm past president, and yeah, I'll be off the EC after annual. So it's been great serving Reforma National, and I don't know if I think that might be it. I think that's
Excuse me, Romelia, you are the 2024 recipient of the Elizabeth Martinez Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah.
Great honor, great honor. I'm very, very just, I don't even know what to say at this point.
Yes, we're going to party on Sunday. We're going to party. All right. I think Alina is here as well.
Oh, is Alina here? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll pass. Oh, yes, Alina, I'll hop over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alina Miguani. My term is also coming to a close, so I will see you all in San Diego, and we should all party together. I'm member at large and have been since I think 2019. Thank you.
You got wrangled into one of those double, triple terms.
I'll come back if you all will have me later. I'll let other people enjoy.
You can serve again. You can serve again. All right. Well, I think that is everyone. If I miss someone, please let me know. And everyone, yes, please in the chat, introduce yourselves. I'm sorry we don't have time to go around with everyone, but please introduce yourselves and feel free to activate the chat as much as you'd like. We're going to go ahead and get started with the rest of the agenda because it is lengthy, but very fun and great. So does everyone have the link to the agenda? It's in the chat there. Okay, so then our next item here is we had an EC meeting on June 3rd, and that is on our agenda to approve the minutes from that meeting. So for those of you on the EC who are voting on this, please take a quick look, and can I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the agenda or the minutes.
I second.
All right, executive committee, all in favor? You can say aye or raise your hand. And Alex, you're taking notes for us since Alma's not here. All right, any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, so those are approved officially for our meeting from June 3rd. And we will move on to the next item, which is the treasurer's report. And we have Denise who will guide us through that portion. And Denise, I'm sorry, I put the budget in here as well. Were we prepared to present that one as well? So we could do those two items and I will hand it over to you. Do you need sharing privileges? Oh, you got it. There we go.
All right, so I will start with the budget report. We have a very healthy balance. We are doing pretty well with all of our funds. Things are looking good so far. Obviously, we'll have lots of expenses after ALA, but we do have at this, as of yesterday, a $395,000 balance between all of our funds. Now that's restricted and unrestricted, so we can't really spend most of that money, but it's nice to look at. In terms of where we are, I'm gonna enlarge that. You know what? Maybe I will enlarge every darn thing here. In terms of where we are compared to our budget for last year, fiscal year 23, we have exceeded all our numbers, and the year is not done yet. So I will do another report as of the end of this month, but we've exceeded all of our income numbers, which is nice. We have gone a little bit over some of our numbers in terms of expenses. CPA fees is more this year because we accidentally had 2 years going through the CPA in one calendar year. Registered agent, we are no longer renewing our own incorporation. We are using a registered agent now, so that's a little bit more expensive than we thought. Credit card fees, it's always a guess. It being higher is better than it being lower because that means more people are using their credit cards. The big change this year is annual conference rooms and annual things. So this is leftover from 2023 bills that we paid and advanced bills that we've paid for 2024, but it doesn't actually include any income from that yet. So I think it will be much less painful to look at after we get all the income accounted for. We did give out 5 scholarships, one of which was funded by the vendor, and I do have to loop back with the vendor to make sure that they will actually give us the money. And finally, this $5,000 on Dia de los Niños mini grants is because I forgot which holiday was which. So I just put them all in the same lump. But that accounts for our Dia and our Noche mini grants. We've had some RNC expenses mostly for reserving 2025 hotel And also for the 2023 Institute, we've done fairly well. Oh, I'm gonna reduce now and everything else. So the third page of this report, which hopefully you all have, I can share it with you if you don't, shows the year to date what our expenses and income have been. We've done very well with the job board, membership dues above $43,000 from JCLC. So that was a nice thing. And we've done very well with fundraising. Expenditures, we've still had a lot of expenditures, including a lot of expenditures for chapter reimbursement. We have the 2 chapters isolated there, but most of it just goes into chapter reimbursement. Operations have all been on target. There are no crises that I'm aware of. And here are the REFORMA services and program expenses that we've been dealing with, and total travel and meeting. So we did this year end up in the black. We are at this moment in time $38,000 in the black, which is a good thing. The rest of this just has a list of our transactions from July 1st to June 22nd. And that is our budget report. I am going to open it up for questions if anyone has budget questions.
Not really a question, but just I want to thank you for for getting the registered agent. I actually had it on my to-do list to get back to you and see if that was done, but everything else kept getting, it kept getting superseded by everything else. So by seeing it now, I can just take it off of my to-do list. Thank you, Denise.
Well, thank you, Manny, for doing all the work. Madeline, I see you've raised your hand.
Denise, thank you so much for your outstanding work as usual. And it makes me so happy to see that we're in such in great position right now. Sorry, Spanglish. So I have 2 questions. So I see travel grant. What is that? And if this is something that needs to be done, and then is there time to make additional requests for next fiscal year's budget, or is that process closed for now?
That's going to be a great question that Alex will entertain. I have presented like the basic budget, and Alex and Romelia and David and I will go in and look at it and like, let's hammer these things out. So I do recommend talk to Alex for future budget allocations. In terms of travel fund, in the past, in terms of travel grant, in the past, we said, wouldn't it be great if we had a travel grant so that we could support members of REFORMA who want to get to annual or want to get to RNC? And we put it in the budget, and then I forgot to do anything with it. So we put it in the budget again for next year. And this time, David actually said we should have Madeline and Celia actually think about this, since they do all the programs. So next year, this is going to be on your plate.
So yeah, part of awards and grants, yeah.
Okay, perfecto, excelente. We'll make it happen.
Unless you want to award it, you have 3 days.
Can I award it to myself? Awarded Madeline Peña, travel grant for REFORMA. Thank you, REFORMA. Thank you, BOD.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm gonna get right into the budget. So we will be, as of July 1st, be in fiscal year 24. And based on fiscal year 23 and previous years, I made some dramatic assumptions. I assume our fundraising is going to be still pretty strong. I'm assuming probably 1,200 from the job board. We don't know how that will go. It will be exciting. We have
1,200 or 12,000, the job board.
Oh, 12,000. Sorry, I never can remember when is 100 and when is 1,000. Last year, this is another thing that I said, oh, I will totally do this after conference, and I did not do it.
Sorry, Denise, could you enlarge slightly?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
So last year, Gloria, our past treasurer, suggested moving some funds from Wells Fargo into Chase into an interest-bearing account so that we could get interest on it. And that I think should still happen, and we could do it this year. We have lots of restricted funds. RNC isn't restricted, but we do like to keep it special for RNC. All the others are restricted. As you can see, we put the JCLC money into our Chase account. The plan has been to switch from Wells Fargo to Chase, but that has been upended by my not living within a 2-hour drive of either a Wells Fargo or a Chase. So we also have REFORMA Educational Foundation funds. Those were collected by the REFORMA Educational Foundation, and they were transferred to us, I believe it was during this calendar. No, it was so long ago, David, that you were still vice president, because I remember I had to get you to sign all the things. So the number that is in this square is, so this is all stocks and bonds. So this is the actual number of dollars that we got from REFORMA Educational Foundation. And then there's additional like dollar amounts that appear on the statements, but those are more dollars that we would get if we cashed out. The plan is not to cash out. The plan is to get that balance nice and big and then start drawing on the interest. And then, so you can see our total carryover and other balances was this amount. Our expenditures, I am estimating, this is my estimate, so Alex and David and Romelia will have thoughts about this. I am estimating that we will be in about these areas. We will probably spend about $2,400 for our bookkeeping services. That is a future fee, a fee of aspiration. It would be lovely to get bookkeepers. We are anticipating, because we have actually, I say we, but Manny and Sarah and all their hard work, they have moved forward on the office manager. Oh, sorry, that was too big. Okay, I hope that works. Manny and Sarah have moved forward on the office manager. I am predicting an increase in credit card fees because we will be registering for RNC 8. And audit, which we are still looking into, probably $2,000. It's what we've estimated. These are our standard costs for running the association, our AMS, our website, Basecamp, and Zoom subscriptions. I'm assuming a slight increase for ALA annual conference rooms, and I took out midwinter rooms because I don't know if we'll ever have a midwinter again. If we do have a midwinter again, we can put them back. We had President's Discretionary Fund and Vice President's Discretionary Fund in the 23-24 budget, and we have it again in this budget. Then we've got the stuff that we do to promote the association. PR is about $1,000. MailChimp, I'm assuming another 1,000-ish because that's about what it's cost us. Fundraising, it was 2,000 last year. I decreased it to 1,000 because we haven't used it in a long, long time. Chapter reimbursement, I'm assuming 10,000. I hope it's more than that because that means we have more members. And then all of our services are, all of our special things are here in this group. So program grants, our LODIO and LAA awards, scholarship awards, I'm assuming 4 still, Dia and Noche mini grants, Noche program at probably just annual. Emerging leader, I'm assuming we'd like to support that. CIC, we voted the executive committee to support CIC with $1,000 a year as funds are available. Cura Belpre, this is in our bylaws and we like to support it because it's awesome. And then these are new things that will be coming in. The Adult Book Award, we've got a little bit of seed money for that. We've had program committee speakers funds. I don't know if that's, well, actually, I do know that hasn't been used this fiscal year, but it might be used again. And then there's travel grants for members. And you can tell that David and I were having conversation in the budget. Like, have we used this? No, we haven't. Should we eliminate it? No, keep it. And strategic planning coordinator, I'm assuming it'll be $3,000 because that's what we budgeted, but Sarah will know better than I do about that. So our final balance, we're still in the black. We are probably hypothetically looking at $189,000. So that is the draft budget. As I said, there are lots of people who still have voices into the draft budget before it gets adopted. And if you have ideas or thoughts or feedback, please well, I guess you can let me and Alex know. Alex, do you have a question or a comment?
No, I was just going to say, I have several questions, but they're the same ones that you raised tonight. And so I know that we'll be going over them in more depth. But what I wanted to say is, if there are things that you would like to have considered for funding, by all means, please reach out to us and I'd love to entertain them. And we will be bringing on a new treasurer, so it'll be kind of exciting to have them in the mix as well, and see what other opportunities there are with regard to enhancing fundraising and rainy day funds, etc. Website redesign. Thinking about the strategic plan, there are several initiatives there that will definitely want to consider them as and put some funds towards them. So yes, thank you so much, Edwin. And I know that there are others, so keep those ideas coming. Thanks.
Yeah. And just briefly, here are a few things that don't really keep me awake at night, but I do actually remember them. We are holding about $70,000 in reserve for just in case the hotel at Portland finally decides they're going to sue us. If they do sue us, we've contacted the lawyer. The lawyer has told us what to do, but we're just holding that in reserve. We don't expect it to be used, but if we need it, it's there. When we took on the REFORMA funds, REFORMA National agreed to match the funds that REFORMA Educational Foundation put in. We have 10 years to do that. We could probably do it now. We could probably wait till later. But the goal was, once that number gets to be 100,000, then we're going to start drawing the interest to fund scholarships. And I think that's all that keeps me awake at night. Although I know, Romelia, I have put it on a list and you have thought about it. So if you have other thoughts, feel free. But we're actually in pretty good shape. I am very happy to make this report. That is it.
I did have one additional thing, loosely related, I guess, to Treasury, because there was an email regarding the PO box, but I see some people, and I know we have some people here who work at LAPL, so I'm going to make the request, and we can discuss this here, or we could discuss it outside of this, if we can have them transition over into checking the PO box now that Gloria Grover's retiring, because she does that for us until we can figure out a new process with our new treasurer. So I don't know, Denise, if you wanted to speak a little bit more on that.
It'll be an adventure. I know our new treasurer is located in the Midwest. I don't know where Chase and Wells Fargo are compared to her, so we'll find out. But we appreciate all the LA members who have volunteered or been volunteered to check our mailbox, and we will, Serena and I will figure out how to do it this year before I.
There are both near her.
What?
Denise, I have a question. So the registered agent, wouldn't they serve as an address that can get our mail and then forward it as we direct them?
Yes, we talked about that option, but we decided not to pursue it because we get checks there, we get membership forms there, and it would take a little bit of time, but that is our backup plan.
All right, any other questions? Lots of thank yous for Denise. Great job. You've done so much for us and we appreciate you. And we're gonna miss you, so don't go too far. All right, so the strategic plan, so item number 5 on our agenda, I did send that out for a vote last week, and it was unanimous for those who voted. So we had a vote of 26 responses. So I think that that is safe to say that this is what we will adopt. There was one quick addition or addendum that we added X, formerly Twitter, to the social media component for the marketing. I don't know, do we need to say anything else about that, Sara?
I don't think so. It seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, unless anybody has any opposition for that, it's just so that we can add one other component to our marketing efforts, which is we're already using X/Twitter for a lot of different things. So I think now, Romelia, we just now adopt this, right? Because it's been voted on and it has been approved by the board of directors. So we'll bring this up again at annual for membership to know. Maybe we can have some copies. I can try to print some copies to hand out just so people can see kind of what all went in there. And strategic organizational development and the strategic plan subcommittee worked tirelessly this year. It is one of the biggest things we did in this entire year. It required so much planning, and thank you to people like Sarah, Ray Pun, Romelia, Alex, Adriana, who helped host these forums, these town halls and these surveys, and who, you know, put together survey questions and got gift cards to people who submitted the responses. This is really important in the future of the organization, and we couldn't have done it without those efforts. So thank you so much. Any questions about the strategic plan? You can't unvote now, but you can have other questions. Madeline.
I apologize because I know this should have been said on previous process, but maybe this is something we can incorporate in the in the future in our work. And I know that I've heard from a few that I have access to who are Latinos but indigenous, that they feel Reforma does not address that group anyway. So as we move with the strategic plan, if there's space to incorporate one another, like taking into account those colleagues who are who are from the the Spanish speaking countries, but they may have their own language, they're indigenous. So I think that's something that we need to address, because I think we've lost some people interested in Reforma. I'm talking about some work colleagues, they have expressed that to me. So maybe in the coming years, we could go back and figure out a way to open up a space for that kind of group.
About
Thank
an
you.
affinity group.
Yes, I was just gonna say there's now the opportunity for anyone to start an affinity group, and not to underrepresent those people, but that's always an option, right?
I think in this case, we'll have to I don't know, encourage or something. It has to come from Reforma for what I've heard, you know, again, something to consider because I think some people have felt that there was no space for them in Reforma. So I think the effort will have to come like it's coming from Reforma. Hey, reach out and encourage people to join and I can start, you know, by reaching out to the people I know, but maybe it should be maybe a call that is public, mention it publicly.
Well, we'll give that to the next president.
I'm on it.
All right. Thank you, Madeline. Any other comments about the strategic plan? All right, so item number, where are we, 6 is the executive director. I have linked it there. I'll hand this over to Romelia, who started this work during her presidency, and Manny is here, who can also chime in or provide some more information. This description for the executive director was officially approved by the executive committee through an email vote, and it has unanimously passed for us to adopt this description. So I'll let Romelia and Manny speak on this portion.
So I have to first of all thank Manny because he's really the one has done the bulk of this work, I should say all this work along with the committee. And so I thank him greatly for his leadership on this, carrying this work forward. But at this time, I don't know, Manny, I'm going to turn it over to you. Maybe you can walk us through the documents and share the information. We can answer any questions you might have.
Sure. So this is something that's been in the making for years now, to be honest. And it isn't just my effort. It was the organizational development and new chapters committee that really worked hard on this for several years. And we did go back and forth numerous times. It has been brought up in this very meeting in prior years and in different meetings. And during that time, what I was doing was just basically fine tuning and putting things in there. So for example, it was felt that if we did have an executive director, to some degree, they should have some responsibility with, bringing funds into the organization. And the more research that I did on executive directors, that is one of the things that executive directors do. So I actually, and in the description, you will see that I have them as chair of the fundraising committee, and that was intentional. But anyway, I digress. Why do we need an executive director? The Organizational Development and New Chapters Committee of REFORMA proposes that the organization hire an executive director to work with the executive committee to ensure that the organization's administrative responsibilities are managed efficiently, that there be a seamless continuation of processes and functions from year to year as the members of the EC change, and to keep the organization focused on its objectives as it strives to fulfill its mission. Don't worry, it was just the first paragraph that I wanted to read because I think it captures why this is. There is a link in the chat that goes over the proposal, and the proposal does walk you step by step what needs to happen. So this body here should approve going forward with the description. At some point, the description, when it's in its final form, will need to be shared with the membership and taken and voted upon to be entered into the bylaws. It should be part of the bylaws. That is why, if you look at the executive director description, it doesn't go into a lot of detail in terms of like what we're looking for as a job description would. That's because the next step in this process is to create an executive director search committee that will be tasked with reviewing the position's description, creating a detailed job description that includes the skills and experience that the search committee will use when considering prospective candidates. They'll actively recruit candidates by publishing a call for candidates through official REFORMA communication channels. And they'll outline a list of criteria to be used to select the candidate that will be recommended to the executive committee for final selection. One of the other things that I want to point out is that, and I did cut that a little bit short, but I'll, after I'm done talking, I'll put in the link for the description as well. Budget. So because this is an unpaid position, let me be clear, it is an unpaid position. And by the way, we looked at what all the other NALCOs were doing. None of the NALCOs have a paid position for this. They all have volunteers, and I don't even think they have a budget line. Should we even consider a budget line? On a personal level, I don't think anybody should be going into their pockets and having to cover expenses for the organization. It is very clear in all of the different documents, and there's 3 different ones. There's the proposal itself, there's the guidelines, there's the description of the position, and there's the guidelines for the executive director budget. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So the whole point of all this too is that these are all documents that can, especially the description of the budget. Every year, when it's time to look at next year's budget, the EC will need to look and see how we're doing. So if the organization is in a bad predicament, there might be the decision that, hey, you know what, we're going to speak with the executive director. We're just going to let them know, we won't be able to cover any of your travel expenses. We won't be able to cover certain expenses, and the expenses that we can cover will be limited. That will all vary from year to year because, again, that budget is dependent upon how the budget situation of the organization itself. Okay, so I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to put the links to the other 2 documents in the description, and I'll take questions if anybody has them.
Any questions? Clarifications?
I don't see any.
So right now, what I had proposed for this, when this position, if this position comes to be, we're thinking, I had proposed that the funds generated by the REFORMA job board be earmarked to support this position, or not the position itself, but the support of the position. Since the funding for them to travel to the conferences would be covered, so that way, that money, we would know it would be earmarked for that cost associated with that, with supporting that person in that position. You're also quiet. We thought there's going to be a lot of questions around this. Okay, well, I guess this is good. Thank you. Thank you, Manny.
Does a vote need to be taken, or?
I think.
Yeah, so I believe now, as a board of directors, we vote on accepting this next process, right? The description, the reasoning and purpose for it, and that gives us the liberty to be able to go and put together a search committee, right? So if you are a voting board member, so that's if you're a chapter president, if you are a chair of a committee, we're going to go ahead and take a vote. Would somebody like to make a motion here?
I move that we accept the Organizational Development Committee's guidelines for the executive director.
And Edwin seconds. All right, so if you can, please, I guess verbally say, I guess it would probably be easier if you raise your hand in the group, or if your camera's off, you can say aye, or you can type it into the chat as well. So, Alex, you'll just have to kind of make a note of all of the yeses.
Let's see here.
The reactions have a thing with the hand.
Yes, those have those too.
And I have to abstain because I'm not on the board of directors.
Okay,
Hi, Manny.
2, 3. Trying to get him in chat. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna 4. Okay, it looks unanimous to me. I don't see any. I think we got everybody. I guess we need to call and see if there's any nays.
Okay, any nays or no's against this process? Don't be shy. And any abstentions for board members? Okay, so we will take that number. All right. And I'm assuming, I mean, that's quorum, right? Because most people are here. Executive committee is here. All right, so then we will move forward. We'll present this again at the membership meeting for people's information. And then do we need to discuss the search committee, or is that something that can be done at the EC meeting? Okay.
We've never actually done this before, but
okay.
But my thought is that it would be up to the EC.
Okay,
and
got it.
Not involve the BOD.
All right, got it. All right, perfect. So then we'll just move on to our next item then. Thank you so much. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Romelia, and everybody involved in this. This has been a lot of work as well. The other big thing that we've been doing this year. So it's a lot of work. All right, so then I just wanted to share the names of our new executive committee, some of them. So those are in the chat there. We have, after a membership vote, Abby Huertas Adriana will be our vice president, president-elect, and she will take that role at annual, which is actually in her hometown of San Diego. So that's very fun. We have Serena Baquilar, who will take over as treasurer. Isabel Vargas, who will take over as secretary. Elisa Garcia, who's going to take over as chapter rep for East Region. Mary Pastrana, who is going to be our chapter rep for Central Region. And Ziba Perez, who will be our chapter rep for members at large. So it's great to see some new people. We love that everyone has committed to multiple terms in some cases, but it's nice to be able to get some interest because it's not always been easy. For those of you who were presidents or have been presidents, you know that it's not always easy to get volunteers. So it's good to see, and we're excited to have them. So you'll be seeing those names. If you're staying on the board of directors, you'll be seeing those names a lot more and be working with them closely in some cases. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to BOD reports. If you would like to orally report out on anything, just please put your name in the chat and I will call them in the order that I see them. That way we can get to whoever. We can keep these brief or as detailed as you'd like. You just let me know. Those of you who also submitted a written report, we can take that as well. You don't have to report out verbally here. So I have a Jenny from Kayask.
Hello, everyone. I want to report briefly a little bit on the Kayask, some changes that we are taking for the next year. I don't think I need to share the screen. I just want to comment about it. Let me see if my video is working. I think it's not working. But can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we have the report basically on the end of year report that we are doing with Jessica Gudelo from January to now to June is like compilation of all the committees and what they're doing. I think what I want to mention right now is the changes on co-chairs for KAYASK. Jessica is ending her 2-year term for this year. I will remain for 1 more year, and I'm gonna be working with Georgia Martinez. She has accepted to be with us as the KAYAS co-chair for the term 2024 to 2025. And
Sorry, Jenny,
also
Jenny, you cut out there. Could you type in the name of the new co-chair into the chat?
Yes.
I'm
yes,
sorry,
yes, yes.
it's just cutting out a little bit, but you can continue.
Okay, new co-chair for KAYAS. Probably you guys know her, Georgina Rivas.
Yeah, she's in the Northeast chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. That's true. And also, we have been planning a little bit for the new committee that is going to be planning the Pura Belpre 30th anniversary for the 2026. And there are some recommendations that KAYAS did as to be chair for Reforma. And well, this information has been passed to the president and the vice president. And well, now we are just waiting for the committee to be officially formed and announced, that I think is going to be on the meeting that we are going to be having on Saturday in San Diego. And that's pretty much what I have to report. I don't want to keep you guys long here. And thank you for all the opportunity. I'm going to be working with Georgina 1 more year, and we'll see.
Thank you, Jenny. I know that you're one of the committees also that I've been constantly emailing my questions to. So thank you for all of that work. I'm excited to see you this weekend.
I am too.
All right, thank you. So let me go back up here. We have Joanna from BPLG and Translations.
Hi everyone. I won't put my camera because it's day off and I'm in PJs. So I'm using 2 hats right now. The president for BPLG couldn't be here. So we did submit the report, but I want to highlight that where our chapter is becoming a little bit more active since the pandemic, and we were able to give our scholarship for an MLIS student. Sorry, my cat is meowing nearby, so hopefully it's not bugging you. We had a successful project with children in crisis, a grant given actually to me, where we were able to donate 555 books from San Francisco Public Library redistribution to children in crisis. We were able to hold the book fair for some income at San Jose State, the King Library. And we are slowly but surely working on having our committees be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like have more participation in certain committees, so it's not just the elected positions that are doing most of the work. So we're working on that, and that's it for BPOG. There's a little bit more details on the report submitted. On the translations committee, I am back to being the chair after a year of hiatus, and so it was a very quiet year versus what I've done in the past. But one really a big highlight that I want to give is for the 4th year, I think it is, we've been able to do the translation for the PLA early literacy calendar that they sell, and the sale of the Spanish version has increased sometimes, decreased other ones. And hopefully this time around, with the feedback I gave them on marketing, they'll do a better targeted or culturally appropriate marketing for it. But that the relationship continues. And some of the very interesting discussions that people have had about bilingual pay and just language access is going to be part of a presentation that Madeline and I are going to do at LA National this coming days. That's it for those two reports.
All right. Thank you, Joanna. Lots of good work. It's good to hear about the chapter. Let me go back up here. Sara.
Gracias. Thank you, David. Can y'all hear me? Okay. See, más o menos. Okay. I just wanted to highlight a couple of more things from organizational development and new chapters from the report, besides reminding me about the PO box. And a couple of other things that bubbled up is the need for a code of conduct. So we're looking at best practices and what needs to happen to get that in place. And then I wanted to celebrate our new and returning chapters. De las Carolinas, a new chapter. Mid-Atlantic is up. Libros and Nevada chapters are up and running. And I think Adriana just posted that Midwest got their board in place. So this is really exciting that we're getting more members and our chapters coming back online to the fold, I guess. So
now we need to update the website, Edwin.
Yes, Edwin. Another question we had about affinity groups. I think I'm not sure if we've made a really official announcement that this is an option and the guidelines have been posted. I didn't know if Celia wanted to do that. So that's kind of hanging fire. And then I'm rotating office chair after the conference, and Laura Tadena in Texas is going to step up and be our chair of organizational development and new chapters. Thank you all for working with me this year. It's been really great getting some things done.
So much work. You've done so much, and we're sad to see you go, but you can come back.
Claro, gracias.
All right, so I have also, is it Madeline from Northeast?
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline Garcia for the Northeast chapter. I will be reporting on behalf of Luis Munoz, who is the current president, but unfortunately he couldn't be here. The report was submitted to the secretary, but it's a 10-page report, so I'm just going to give you highlights because it's too long. So our board of directors, of course, Luis Munoz, president. I'm the vice president, incoming president starting in July. Linda Caicedo, who's our immediate past president. Angelina Ansalon, secretary, and Manny, who's here, is our treasurer. So I'm going to give you just a brief, the most highlights. We had our first meeting on October 2023 at the UMass University, Massachusetts. And we happened to find out that day that we went, the vice president of Colombia, Francia Marquez, was happening to be at the campus, and Isabel was able to get us to go to her speech at the campus. And she spoke about Ministerio de Igualdad, which was her initiative. So it was very nice that we got a chance to see and attend. Reforma was also invited to speak at the New York Public Library group, Cafecito con Colegas, which is a space for the NYPL staff committed to serving Spanish-speaking community to share experiences and information to improve the facilitation of Spanish programming and services. Linda and Luis represented and talk about the work that Reforma does. Also, we had our third meeting at the Park Central Library in Philadelphia, and we had the REFORMA Northeast Leadership Institute the same day. In the morning was a institute, and this year team was building community through intersectional leadership, community engagement, and participatory collaboration. And we had 3 amazing presentations. And after the institute, we did our general meeting. Also in April 19 of this year, REFORMA Northeast members, we participated in the Pura Belpre Community Celebration, which was done in the Harlem Art Park in New York. And it's an event that we support every year. And our biggest highlight of the year was our 20th annual joint mini conference on July 14 at the Bronx Library Center in New York. The theme this year was the power of welcome, strategies for maximizing libraries as a place for everyone. Our keynote speaker was Shante Burns Simpson from BCALA, which I'm sure many of us know her. And she presented a rousing and inspiring call to arms. And then we had other presentations. One was called Reckoning with an Institution Past Challenges, working with archival presentations. Then we had Kids Travel the World, exploring cultures beyond borders at the library. The My NYC collection, creating inclusive library spaces. Inclusive literacy spaces in New York City public schools. And the last presentation was how to do outreach and marketing programs for diverse communities. So it's the first time we did a mini conference hybrid. And we realized that going forward, since it's hard for people to travel, so I think it will be a good option to in person, but also offer the option of doing hybrid, not just a mini conference, but our meetings, because we noticed that it's easier for people to attend virtually than in person, as you know, it's hard to get time off. But at the conference, we also had 3 very important awards that we gave out. The Ismael Alicea Professional Development Award, we presented to Jessica Gudelo. The Pura Belpre Librarian of the Year Award was presented to Mary Marquez. And the Teresa Malauer Lifetime Achievement Award, which is not given every year, but it goes to a librarian who has served REFORMA Northeast and the Latinx community with distinction for at least 20 or more years. And this year recipient was Fred Kindner. So thank you.
Oh, can I just add that Loida
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, it's okay, because I took it off of the notes that I told you to.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
But Loida was there because Loida was the one who initiated the Northeast the mini conference. So it was like her baby. So we had her talk and just talk about that since it was the 20th anniversary.
That's awesome. I love seeing those pictures every year. One day I'm gonna get myself to the Northeast and I'm gonna go to one. But now they're hybrid, so maybe.
Yes, next year will be hybrid too. Yes.
All right. Thank you,
And
Madeline.
I'm hoping to see you guys all in San Diego. First time in California.
Oh,
So
yes.
thank
Awesome.
you.
It'll be great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle, you have some report outs.
Hello. Can you see me? There I am. So I have 3 reports, but I'm going to try to keep it super brief. I just want to, first acknowledge and recognize everyone, whether they're on the research committee with me, a member of the Los Angeles chapter, or anyone in the West, which is the California chapters. It's been great working with you. And I know we're all doing so much phenomenal things across REFORMA. So I just want to say thank you to everyone first for the opportunity to even, I guess, be here and serve and support and continue the work with REFORMA. The research committee, I think it's going to grow. We have several additional possible members. The biggest thing, which you may remember from 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, we had our first biannual report that came out. It was a brown paper around programs and services that the REFORMA community is doing in their, in their work. So we have another one we're working on for 2025. So we'll be soliciting from our members, great things they've been doing. We also always include the mini grant winners. So thank you, Madeline, for sharing those with us. One thing we might do this year a little different, which I think is the biggest highlight, is not only highlighting them in the report, which is kind of a shorter report, but working one-on-one with the mini grant winners to encourage them to publish somewhere else their work. So to get their work out there beyond just in our report or sharing it with our community. So that's the one, I think, big highlight. We have other things like tracking scholarship throughout Reforma, as well as working on and supporting grant proposals and coming up with research or writing confidence sessions. So you'll be hearing more about that in the future. The West California chapter report, Sara already mentioned about Libros, so congratulations to San Diego Libros chapter for coming back. And I'm working with one, trying to get them back. So another one that's kind of inactive and still waiting on a few things. But one thing I found, and Joanna, since you're, the president, for example, in your chapter, Bibliotecas para la Gente, one thing I did, I think it was in May or April, all of the California chapter presidents came together and we had a great meeting just to share ideas and to collaborate and talk about issues. So moving forward, the next one will be in July, but it's not going to just be California presidents. I'm going to open it to all the California chapter board members or officers. So then we can do breakouts. So all the treasurers can talk with one another, all of the secretaries from all the California chapters. And I think for those that, may have participated, it was really helpful and a lot of ideas. So now it's just taking action on some of the things we talked about. But I encourage any of the regional reps and even our member at large rep to do something similar if you can, because it's a great way for collaboration as well as supporting your region. And then last, the Los Angeles chapter report is very lengthy, so I'm not going to go through it all. Not quite as lengthy as the former chapter that reported out. But we're very active, as you all know. A lot of things are going on. I think some of the key things to highlight is just, I think, how involved our members are, which across the board, even for newer chapters, I feel like there's a lot of energy. So I really am inspired by, especially now hearing there's all these newer chapters coming back or even new ones getting started. I was a member of the Nevada chapter way back when, I don't even remember what year, maybe in the 90s. So it's nice to hear that Nevada's back. But with LA, there's so many things going on, and I'm not going to belabor it, but one of the big things, as you all know, is RNC 8 in Long Beach. So just stay tuned, because I saw the call out today for volunteers, and I did share that with the California chapter presidents to share with their membership. So we need volunteers, and I know Madeline can speak more to that, but we'd appreciate all the support to make it an awesome conference. And then if you're ever in LA, come visit us. We welcome you with open arms, as well as I'm sure any of the other California chapters. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I look forward to continuing to work with you next year. All right, we have Michael Gutierrez.
Hello. I just have a brief report. I promise it'll be brief. We just have selected, and I think several of our members have agreed to serve on the interim executive board. And at that point, we'll begin the process of filling out our application, having a 50301 status, and we already have our bylaws in process. So we're on our way to become a REFORMA chapter.
Excellent. That's great news.
And I just want to thank Manny and Adriana. They were helpful in getting us started. It seems like it was a longer process than I wanted it to be, but it's almost there. So everyone will begin their term July 1st.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, we have Flo.
Yes, hi everybody from New Mexico, Reforma de Nuevo Mexico. Mine is very brief also, really honestly. I wanted to mention that Jose Aranda has submitted his resignation for Reforma. He's been with part of Reforma before I was here, and that was over 20 years in one capacity or another. He moved on and has another position outside of the library in Albuquerque. So I'm so sad to see him go. I had to share that for those of you who know him. And we're very happy. We're trying to rebuild. One of the things that happened was we were part of the Donna Ana Community College. So one of the things we're doing right now is making sure that all our addresses change. We are partnering now, and our home base is going to be at Hatch Village Public Library. So we're moving from Las Cruces to maybe a very rural library, which is very good for all of us. And so if you see something from Hatch, from us, that's who we are. So just giving you that heads up. I'll be presenting at Zoom for the Latinx Team Equity Project in Starnet for the pre-conference there in San Diego. So I hope I run into a lot of you guys, and thank you. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Flo. Great to see you. All right, Vilma.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Vilma. I'm at Maryland, so representing the Mid-Atlantic chapter. I'm the current president. So it's great to be here with everyone today. I'm delighted. It's always a pleasure when we have these meetings every year to see, professionals in libraries who are all working towards the same mission. So I wanted to just, my report is almost complete. I do need to submit it, but it'll be sent shortly to Adriana, our secretary. But we've been working on getting reinstated for the chapter. And so I want to share the good news that we finally did submit all our paperwork. It was Form 1023 this February. So it does take about, they said 180 days approximately for us to receive if we're approved or not. But hopefully we will, because this time we really took our time in making sure that we responded to all the questions. And also we reached out a lot to Adriana. So thank you, Adriana, for all your support, and also Manny and anybody else that I reached out during this process. And that was very helpful to reach out to this team. But other than that, we also had one of our in-person meetings with all the officers. It was great to meet with everyone in person to celebrate that we finally got all this paperwork finished. And we're just, meanwhile, we're still meeting and working on our other forms that we need to complete. But that's pretty much our highlight for the Mid-Atlantic.
All right. Thank you so much, Vilma. Before we go on to the next BOD report, I know some people are leaving and they have to go. We would love to get a group photo, which is in Reforma tradition. If you would like to be in the photo, please turn on your camera, and Celia will capture our beautiful smiles from afar, and we will gladly share that out in reports, in email, social media. Thank you so much. We'll give everyone a few seconds here. And we'll probably have to take a couple shots because of the size of the group. All right. Okay, so Celia, you guide us, you let us know.
All right, everyone. So I'm going to count to 3 and then everyone's going to smile. I think everybody fits on everyone that showed their camera fits on my screen, so we should only have to do a couple. All right, so 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, and then one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then a silly face. I'll give you a mask. All right, so I have 3. Thank you all so much. We'll post those later.
All right, thank you, Celia. And then we have Madeline Peña.
Hi, everyone. I would like to make a very quick report update for the awards committee and RNC 8. We selected a librarian of the year, and a Lifetime Achievement Award winners, as you know, Abby Morales and Dr. Romelia Salinas. We have been consistent with the Noche and the mini grants. The Noche mini grants is open right now until June 30th, so please apply. We have 10 awards. If you have any question, if you would like me to read your submission before you send it, I'm here for it as well. And we'll be bringing back the programs grant, which will open September 15. So it is the Reforma National Program grants. In addition to that, collaborated, and it's been thanks to the leadership of where is mi amiga? Ay, se fue. No se fue. Sara Martinez. No, Sara, you're here. So Sara Martinez, to get the ball rolling, and we have pretty much established the award. It will be announced during ALA, the Reforma National Book Award. Sara will serve as chair of the selection committee, and the goal is to have a winner selected of a nonfiction work and presented at the conference at RNC 8. So talking about RNC 8, and thank you, Michelle, for mentioning that. Again, we encourage you to volunteer. The website has been updated as well, so you want to look at the beautiful faces of the steering committee. Everything is at reformaconference.org. You can also sign up to receive emails with more information regarding the conference, and then we should be having the volunteer information on the website very soon, as published as well. And we will work on hopefully developing and establishing a brand new award, a collection development award. Hopefully it'll be approved, but the idea is to make it in honor of Teresa Malauer, and perhaps work with some of the book distributors and publishing houses to provide support for this award. And so we don't, in addition to Reforma funding, we could have some funding in kind through sponsorship by them. So yeah, so that's it. RNC 8. We're starting planning. We need help. We need everyone to get involved. It's going to be a very number one, educational, but it'll be a lot of fun as well. So make sure that you're already planning to come to Long Beach. That's where I live. That's where Celia Avila lives. Close to where Cynthia and Sonia Bautista live. And we're gonna have a great time, just so you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. I think that was everyone who included their name in the chat. Did I miss anyone or anybody that didn't get a chance to put their name in the chat? Okay, and we'll have all of the other written reports. If you don't want to report out, that's fine too. And thank you so much for sharing all of those. It's so nice, and it's so unfortunate that we only get one time a year, right, to be able to really listen to what everybody is doing. But the chapter reps do such a great job of keeping in touch with the chapters, and it's really important. It's a really important position. So in the future, if you would like to be a chapter rep, please consider running for election. It would be really great to have you, since you have a wealth of knowledge already. All right, any questions about anybody's reports? All right, so I just wanted to share out for those who may or may not be in San Diego. You've probably already seen all the marketing, but we have a full list of meetings and events at ALA Annual. I think Alex and I are trying to figure out how we're going to clone ourselves to do everything. But if you will be in San Diego, please consider joining us at any of these meetings or events. The link is in the chat there. We kicked it off with today's virtual meeting for Board of Directors. We have our executive committee meeting on Friday the 28th, followed by Noche de Cuentos at 7 o'clock. We have a great lineup for Noche de Cuentos. So if you are in San Diego, please join us for that. On Saturday, we have our all committees meeting. That's early. So Again, that's for chapters or committees who will be in person. If you would like to meet with folks or you would like to recruit for future committee members, that's a great place to do it and to get a hold of other people. I think last year in Chicago is where an affinity group was born, right, Madeline? The outreach affinity group. So those are great opportunities to network and get to know people. So comunidad, yes. And then my president's program will be Saturday at 2:30. If you are there, I would love to see you in the audience. I would love to watch me sweat so that I don't, freak out too much, but please join me. It's full of a panel of incredible reformistas, colleagues, people I consider friends who are, it's a very personal program, and I hope that you can join me there. If not, I'll provide the slides at some point after that. We have the poster session for Reforma's Children in Crisis will be at that same day at 3:30. So right after my program, we can all go and check out the poster. Adriana, you're assisting with the poster, yes? Yeah, Adriana will be there presenting with the poster along with Patrick and Addie, right? So a lot of good information for people who are not familiar with the Children in Crisis Initiative. On Sunday, we have the amazing Pura del Pez celebration at 1 o'clock. And then we have another Children in Crisis project actual presentation at 1 o'clock. And then our fundraiser is at 6 p.m. at the San Diego Central Library. You probably are so sick of our marketing and of seeing videos, pictures, posts, graphics. This event has been so fun to plan. It's been a challenge, but it's been so rewarding. A group of committee members, we got together to put this together so that we can raise funds for children in crisis and scholarships, and driving Denise insane with like all of the requests for expenditures, but we're going to profit and we're going to get some good funding. But more importantly, we're going to have such a great time honoring Romelia and Abby for all of their hard work. So if you can join us, please join us. If you're in San Diego, I would love to see as many people there just to kind of, usher out this year of hard work and to welcome Alex into the presidency as well. I think it'll be a great time. So please tell us. And if you're not going to be there and you know colleagues who will be in San Diego, please encourage them to come and join us. There are still tables and tickets available, and great opportunities. There's going to be raffles, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be food, there's going to be music, there's going to be drag queens and stand-up comedy. So a lot going on in those 3.5 hours. We have it jam-packed. And then what was that?
Celebrate with you. I can't wait to celebrate all that you have done, David. It's been a remarkable presidency.
Thank you. And our last meeting of the year will be on Monday at 1 p.m., which is our usual standing membership committee. That's where we will give one final report out. We will talk about the things that we have been doing, all year. We'll have some opportunity for members to share out any anecdotes as well. If you're there, you can report out again on your committee or your chapter. And that is where we will pass the gavel to the president-elect, and we will have a new president after that meeting or during that meeting. So join us. I wish that everyone could be there, even virtually. Maybe we can consider hybrid in the future so that we can get everybody there. But that is in a nutshell what we will be doing during ALA annual in addition to not sleeping, not eating, not being able to hydrate. We'll be doing all of that.
And
so
crying. There'll be some crying, I
there
bet.
will likely be some crying, yes.
There's one more event I want to invite everybody to. I'm putting it in the chat. And
Okay.
The JCLC, we're hosting a reception to announce the 2026 conference location and dates. And so I just put it in the chat. There's a little envelope, and I'll be getting it out to all Reforma members this evening. But I hope that if you're there, you can come and visit with us. It's 1 hour Friday evening. 5 to 6 p.m. and it's in the Marriott Marquis, which is right next to the convention center, the conference hotel. So hopefully we'll see you all there, but we'll see you, if you're attending, we'll see you at all the many events and meetings. So exciting.
All right. Okay, so lastly, we have time for any announcements. Anybody would like to share anything that we didn't get a chance to discuss? Luis is here. Hi, Luis.
Hola familia, sorry couldn't join you all earlier, but I'm sure you guys had a great report from my colleagues there, my other family, rest of my family in Northeast, but I had to say hi just real fast. Just got home from my first day of my new job, so.
Oh, nice. Congratulations on the new job.
Thanks. Congratulations on a great year, David, and a great executive committee.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations, Romelia and Abby. Wow.
All right. Well, I mean, since there are no other announcements, we can end the meeting here. But I just want to say, and I'll say this again probably a million other times from now until next Monday, I really want to thank everybody for all of your support this year, for being patient, for celebrating me, for keeping me in check, for, you know, allowing me to vent sometimes. A lot of, you know, my very close friends, you know, listen to my text messages, or, you know, they get me through the day. But it's been a great year, and I'm so happy that we've been able to have a strong board of directors that is responsive to emails, to voting, to my nagging, because it is really difficult, you know, as an organization full of volunteers, people that have jobs and busy lives, to run something that is so meaningful to all of us and has touched us in certain ways at different points in our lives, that we can continue to do this work together. So thank you so much. And I'm so looking forward to working with Alex next year so we can keep the momentum going. And thank you, Romelia, for your guidance and your mentorship. So I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, adios. See you in San Diego.